Wow, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations is in order for Devin Haney. Devin Haney is now the undisputed lightweight champion of the world. And y'all, if that fight didn't teach me anything, that fight taught me that the jab is the most important punch in boxing, hands down, because Devin worked it beautifully from round one all the way on. And I'm looking at this fight, I'm like, wow. Like, George Kambosos was absolutely outclassed by a wide margin. It wasn't even close. From round 3 on, I knew George Kambosos was in trouble. I said, oh my God, he can't handle anything Devin Haney got. He can't counter it. He doesn't have an answer for it. He doesn't have a response. And it's going to be a long night for George Kambosos. Devin Haney whooped George Kambosos' ass from pillar to post. From pillar to post. Had his face all bruised up, was hitting him with everything but the kitchen sink, and George couldn't respond to it at all. He was working that jab beautifully from upstairs to downstairs to upstairs, basically to the body, to the head, and it was just like, his reactions was way quicker than George Kambosos. His defense was exemplary defense. This was a masterclass. This was a masterful performance from Devin Haney, right? And for all the adversity that Devin Haney went through, I'm talking about fighting 8,000 miles away from home, fighting in front of 50,000 fans that want you to lose, accepting less money in the fight, right? Having your father barred from entering the country until Thursday? So you over there for a couple of weeks with just Joel Judah, thinking, man, my father ain't gonna be in my corner, who's always in my corner, right? Then to accepting a rematch clause to where the fight would be in Australia again, even if you win the fight. Like, that's some big boy stuff. Devin got big balls for that. And he had all that adversity and went in there and scorched George Kambosos. Scorched him. It's even hard to find rounds to give George Kambosos. So I don't know what all these other people talking about. Oh man, you need to give George more credit. Get the fuck out of here. It was a thorough ass whooping. He was outclassed all the way. So I'm not trying to hear that. George Kambosos is a good fighter. But the difference is Devin Haney is on the verge of being a great fighter. There's a difference. And when I saw those two in the ring, I clearly could see the skill set difference. It wasn't even close. Like, Devin had George reacting to even the slightest movement from him. I'm talking about him just stepping forward, feints. He couldn't stay out of the way of Devin's jab to save his damn life at all, right? Again, Devin's defense was superb. George couldn't hit Dev with anything clean at all. Even had Dev running into the ropes because Devin footwork. Dev's footwork is outstanding. Even had Dev, George running into the ropes when he would pivot away from punches and all of that. Falling into the ropes and shit kind of reminded me when Floyd had Canelo Alvarez hitting, punching the ropes and all of that, right? Devin was just too quick. He was too smooth. He was using a check hook. Again, jab to the body, jab to the head. He had, his fast twitch muscles and skill set was way too much for George Kambosos. I'm looking at my notes. I had notes for everything I wanted to say. Like, fast twitch muscles and footwork was way too much, man. His skill set was way too much. Again, he couldn't get out of the way of anything that Devin was throwing. Devin Haney is that dude, y'all. He is that dude. He made, because all the beginning of the fight, Dev came out to the DMX too. Shout out to that, man. Shout out, respect to that brother. Dev came out to all them damn boos, getting booed when they introducing him and all of that, right? They cheering and all that when George come to the ring. He made that entire stadium quiet, round by round. George Kambosos was given a slow death. Slow death by the jab, right? And there was nothing that George could do to figure out. He didn't know what to do. He couldn't figure it out at all. And I can tell when I watched Devin box that he came from that Mayweather gym. I'm talking about from the check hooks to the jabs to the body, jab to the head. I mean, from the footwork and all of that, I can tell he was a student of that Mayweather gym because he fights beautifully, right? And, this is the thing, too, because George, Devin got the goods, top to bottom. Every type of boxing skill you want him to have and be able to do, he could do. The only thing people question about Dev is punching power. They call him pillow fists and all of that. He's not the hardest puncher, right? And for all of that shit, it's hard. If he fight a guy that's a puncher, yes, there's chances that he can get hurt from guys like Tank Davis and so on and so forth, right? But you got to be able to land on that brother. it's hard to hit him. Hard as fuck to land a clean shot, even if you're the most talented boxers, right? And people will say, well, it's yet to be seen. George Kambosos is not an excellent boxer and all of that. Well, I don't know, because before the fight, y'all was talking all that shit about the problems that George Kambosos caused Teofimo Lopez, and y'all thought it was going to do the same for Devin? Nah, bruh. Nah. Devin, I'm going to be real with y'all. Y'all, a lot of people love Teofimo. Teofimo is a nice fighter, for sure. He's a very good fighter. But Dev is more, he's more skilled than Teofimo. If Dev got in there with Teofimo, I think Dev working Teofimo. Seriously, I really do. I see him working Teo. Teo got punching power and can hit some Dev with some shit to keep Dev honest and keep Dev at bay. But I think his skill set is too much for Teofimo. Teofimo would get frustrated. Just the same way that George Kambosos was in there getting frustrated last night, right? So I don't want to hear that, oh, he don't get no punching power, all that shit. Listen, when you got skills to pay the bills and can pick a guy apart, jab him the fuck, like jab his head, like jab him to death. He was about to jab George's goddamn head off with that, like talking about to knock his head off with the jab. It's nothing that a guy could do, right? When I'm watching the fight, George Kambosos didn't even try to throw combinations until maybe the 9th round. And it was because like he was getting slaughtered by Devin's jab so much, he didn't want to, he knew if he came up in there trying to brawl and all that shit and try to throw punches and combinations, he was going to get clipped and he was going to get countered with something vicious, something nice, uppercut or something. He was going to get caught crazily. And he knew he couldn't risk that, right? And even then, if he wanted to brawl, George Kambosos is what I call a fake brawler, right? There are fake brawlers in boxing, right? A fake brawler is a guy that likes to mix it up to get style points and aggression points, right? But he doesn't really have punching power like that, so there's really no chance of him really stopping a guy. He likes to try to mix it up and bang and bang and bang and bang and all that type of stuff and throw punches fast and what he feels are strong. He likes to throw sharp punches in close quarters. But he really don't got that much punching power, and George don't got that much pop, right? So I knew, even if Dev chose to engage with him for real, Dev can get caught with some stuff, but I really didn't think Dev could get hit with something that he couldn't recover from George Kambosos. So, you know what I mean? I was like, yeah, so George is really a fake brawler. He can't even hurt Dev for real, right? And again, even if George Kambosos sold out, and just went in for the gusto and tried to go in there and try to knock him out and try to get everything in close quarters, he knew that Devin had clean counter shots waiting on him. He had clean counter shots waiting on him. So it was like, damn, what, you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. George, like, shit, he couldn't really, like, for real, he got neutralized from throwing combinations for real. He got neutralized from being aggressive because Dev's jab was so strong, so prominent, it kept him honest, and George like, damn, I can't just come up in there. For real, he really beat George up from the beginning to the end of the fight. I swear to God, the first 2 rounds, maybe he didn't beat him up. From round 3 on, he was on George's ass. For real, you could say round 2, fuck it. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, first round, he was figuring each other out. He was on George's ass all the way through and through. And that's why I have a problem with certain boxing aficionados, certain pugilistic historians or whatever, if you will. You know, when they say certain things, they're not always right. They think they're right, but they're not. Teddy Atlas was saying some of the most hating ass shit in them tweets that he was tweeting. Like, bro, get the fuck up out of here, Teddy. You need to stop. You need to lay off that liquor or whatever you drinking when you watching these fights. Cause cut it out. This is look in the 7th round of the fight. You got Teddy Atlas tweeting, both fighters doing a good job. Haney is better so far, but commentators giving no credit to Kambosos. Teddy, what fucking credit did George deserve at that point? 7 rounds in a fight, he was getting hit with everything but the kitchen sink and had no response for it. He had no answer for anything Devin Haney was doing. What the fuck are you talking about? What credit should George Kambosos be given for having heart and being a punching bag for real? Like, come on, man, cut it out. Because if that was Deontay Wilder in there getting his head and I jabbed the hell off, Teddy wouldn't be talking about Deontay deserving no damn credit. He wouldn't say that, oh, to give Deontay credit, you know, for hanging in there and being tough and trying to throw some nice, good, hard punches. He wouldn't have said no shit like that. He would have been like, no, such and such is too skilled for Deontay Wilder. He's too far superb in the skill department for Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder has nothing for him. He wouldn't have tried to get no credit to no Deontay Wilder, so cut that shit out, right? Then he also tweeted during the fight, well fought on both sides. After the fight, he said, well fought on both sides. Just a bit faster and better. He said just a bit faster and better on Haney's for the most part. Well fought on both sides. Ain't no fucking well fought on both sides. Then let me tell you, I'm going to be real with y'all over here. George Kambosos got his ass whooped. He got smoked. He got sauteed, flambéed. He got deep fried. He got barbecued. You feel me? He got put in a goddamn, the air fryer last night. And he had no response for it. It wasn't no well fought on both sides at all. He got outclassed. I'm telling you, he got beat from pillar to post. For real, he got beat up. He got hit with everything. He got his ass outboxed. He got outworked. He got outjabbed. Like he got outlanded. Got out everything. So I don't know what the fuck Teddy Atlas talking about. It's clear to me that Teddy was rooting for George Kambosos and he wanted Kambosos to win the fight last night. But I'm sorry, y'all, it did not happen. I don't know what he talking about. All that. I don't know what Teddy talking about. Teddy wanted George to win. This shit was not close. For real, it's one of the most one-sided fights I didn't watch in a long time. Right? Even with him over there in Australia and all of that, the judges could not cheat Devin Haney. Devin Haney made it so clear. Teddy, the only motherfucker I know, was calling it close. And some of these drunk-ass dudes on YouTube doing live fight commentary. They the only ones saying the fight was close. Everybody else, hell no, it was nowhere near close. George knew it wasn't close. Teddy, the only person that well fought on both sides, and George ain't getting no credit. Man, what credit? What credit he deserved? He was in there getting mollywopped. Out there getting what we call in the hood, he was getting flooded out there. Getting his ass flooded, you know, in respect to George Kambosos. But nah, man. George knew what time it was. That's why they threw them stipulations out there. They thought Devin Haney wasn't going to accept it. Devin accepted it like a gangster. Went over there and handled business and say, even if I win, I'll take a rematch clause in here in your hometown once again because I'm that confident. I'm that much better than you. And it showed. It showed, all right? And I'm looking at Bill Haney. I'm looking at how proud Bill Haney looked, right? The proud look on his face. And I'm like, wow, man, that's beautiful. That's beautiful for real, man. And Devin Haney deserves this. For all of the hate and the slander Devin Haney been getting throughout his career, calling him an email champion and all of that, that's how you go in there and handle fucking business. You put on a masterclass performance like that. It's reminiscent of the way, similar of the way of Floyd Mayweather got in there and whooped and smoked on Canelo Alvarez. It's similar to that way in that type of fashion, man. I'm telling y'all, it was that type of one-sided fight, without question. Congratulations to Mr. Devin Haney for becoming the new undisputed lightweight champion of the world, brother. Salute to you. You deserve all the praise. Machiavelli Mills TV, I'm out. Peace.